Good afternoon, Arjun. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Ah, good afternoon. What about Devstuti? Could you contact? She has seen. Okay. We'll just wait for 2 minutes till she comes. Uh, Okay, what I was saying was in the group that I have created for both of I just saw that they've added you on to the other group. But you see, you will not get access to all the study materials that I posted there. So I created a new group for both of you and I posted all the slides of the 5 units along with the syllabus and 2 study materials. All right. You received them now because I already posted it twice there, but then since you joined late, you will not have access to them. So I thought again, instead of putting it in the same group, I thought I'll create a separate group for both of you. Now, the thing is that you see, I have 3 hours of class with you today, 1 hour, tomorrow, 1 hour, and another. So I'll just try to touch up on a few topics. I will not be able to complete the entire syllabus. All right. There she's come. Devsuti, can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I was just talking to Arjun and I was saying that if you had noticed, I have posted your syllabus and the slides of the 5 units. All right, 5 or 6 units we have. I've posted all of them there. The slides will be quite useful for you to prepare your answers, your questions. Um, I have only 3 hours of class with you, and I've been told that um, I will have to do one, I think, internal test also with you on 11th or 10th. I'm not sure. Okay, I've noted it down somewhere. So I've been told to cover as much as I can in the 3 classes, 3 hours, and based on that, to give you one internal test. All right, the slides will suffice for you, and I'm sure you'll be able to make up. I mean, with the other topics also. If you have any problem, any doubt in between, you can always contact me since you joined late. By the way, where did you join from? From which? Where were you before this? Okay, you didn't have the subject there. Okay, Devsuti also from which branch did you shift?
Ma'am, I'm from chemical engineering.
Oh, okay, okay. So you also didn't have this paper. You didn't have this paper, right?
No, ma'am.
Okay, it's not very tough. It's a humanities paper, and as I've done with the others, I've given them the entire slides, and the questions were based from there. Now, let me see what little I can cover for you. I had given them one assignment. I'll tell them about. I'll tell you also about that assignment. You can keep that ready with you. Um, it's a very small assignment. Okay, it's a very small assignment, so it shouldn't take up too much of your time. And I will take your internal for, let's say, 30 marks. I have to give your internal, right? So okay, I'll see, let me finish, then I'll talk to you. So but before that, let me start and not waste any more time. Yeah. Oh, 20 marks. Okay. Yeah, your internal test was for 20 marks. Your external is for 70 marks. So, yes, 20, correct. So, it will be for 20 marks and it shouldn't be very difficult. So, you have your slides also. So, I will try to cover some important topics after giving you the basics of this topic. The rest you will be able to manage from the material that I have given you. You don't have to worry, you can manage from there, and if you have any problem you can contact me at any point of time. I don't think we should be wasting too much time on a humanity subject like this because you have joined late and you have your technology subjects also. So let's not waste any time. Let me just try to share this slide with you. 1 minute, just hang on. Okay, can you see my slide? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I've given all this to you. You just have to keep going through. What I'll expect from you is to go through the bullet points, try to expand on the bullet points. Okay. Now, if you were there before, I would have done a lot more with you. But since we are running short of time, I won't be able to do much, but try to give examples wherever possible, just to say that you've understood what the bullet point is all about. Okay, explanatory material is also given there. So you see, now the subject is the title of the subject is values and ethics in profession. Now what has been happening is that all these subjects were taken away, from your syllabus, but of late it has been understood that every profession, not only in engineering, there has been a loss of values, all right, which is why a lot of corruption has crept in. The thought process, the working culture itself has changed, and therefore they thought that this is the appropriate time to let you all know about or revise your concept of values and ethics, so that before you go on to working in your workplace in any organization, you should be aware of things that you should be doing and what you should not be doing. And it is expected that the future generation will be alert about all these things. They will try to correct the corrupt practices that are going on in any profession, in any workplace. So that is why this subject has been included for you, all right. It is just to, you must have done a lot of moral science and all that in school. This is just to get you to know or revise what you've done before, all right. Now working in any organization is becoming very difficult for us, because the mindset of people has changed. Everybody wants to make money, all right, and they want to make money by compromising on the values that they have been brought up on. So the weightage is being given to money, to comfort, and to make this money in all illegal and unethical manners. So this syllabus has been designed to just let you know about human values, all right. Where did these values come from? What is a need to study this subject, all right. What is the first requirement, all right. And what do we mean by values, what do we mean by ethics, and then we move on to what a profession is and what we mean by professional ethics. Then the rest of the syllabus goes on to talk about ethics that are prevalent or relevant to the engineering profession. Is that clear? So that is what the topic is all about, and I've tried to make this syllabus as simple as possible. So initially, the question arises, like, why should you have to study values and ethics? All right. So as I said, um, people have been losing out or forgetting about what is good and what is bad, what kind of morals they should be looking up to. All right. And that is why we have been facing a lot of problems, whether it is at home, with your family, with your friends, or with your peers in the workplace. All right. Now, studying values and ethics will help you recognize certain issues which you will be facing in your workplace, how you will tackle them, and how you will solve or resolve moral dilemmas. Now, what is a moral dilemma? Dilemma means a situation where you have two options, all right, and both the options are equally tempting, all right. You want this, you want that, but you are now tied between the choices that you have to make, all right. Now based on the values that you have, you are what should I say, you are in a position to make decisions to solve that dilemma, all right. So what helps you solve, when we talk about moral dilemmas, we're talking about what is good and what is bad, all right. A moral dilemma could be a situation like, let's say I'm working for an organization, all right, and I have access to a printer, and papers and all that. Now I am a faculty member working in the university, okay. Now I have, because I have classes to take, I have question papers to prepare, I have assignments and all these things, and a lot of official work, paperwork to be done. I have access to the printer, and side by side, beside my teaching, I'm also doing my research, all right. Now I have a lot of research work which needs to be printed out, okay, and I do not want to use my money to print that material which I'm going to use for my thesis. So now I I'm in a situation where I can easily use, the resources that are being given by the university or the office to me for my office work. I have access to it. Now, should I use it for my personal work also? After all, who's going to know? I'm going to print it, it's going to come out, nobody else in my room. I can use the printer, I can use the ink, I can use the paper for my for printing out my research papers or my thesis work. Now, is this correct? Now, both the options, yeah, so both the options are very tempting. Like I have a printer, I have this access, I can do it. Now I'm in a dilemma. I have two situations which I face. I have to give importance to my research work, that is my thesis work. At the same time, I have to get done with the official work that has been given to me in my institute, and I have access to a printer. Should I be using my printer for both the situations? That is a question. Now you're in a moral dilemma, because you know that people have trusted you and given you this machine and all these resources. So should you be using it for your personal work? Now this is a moral dilemma. It can also happen, real life situations, like you have the secretaries or PAs, personal assistants of people in the office. Now, let's say I'm the boss and I have a PA, and my PA comes from a not a very well-to-do family, and she has brothers and sisters. Uh, she's the only sole earning member in the family. All right. Now, her brothers and sisters go to school, and buying stationery seems to be an expensive, proposition for her. So, what she does is, because she works in the office for me and she's my PA, she has access to a lot of stationery. And what she does is, nobody is going to keep track of how many pens or pencils and things like that she's using. And so she starts taking all these things from the office to her house and supplies them to her brothers and sisters. Now, if we were to ask her whether she's doing the right thing, she will be faced with a moral dilemma. All right, moral, because she must realize what is right, what is wrong. And it is this moral dilemma which actually brings us back to our values. You will be able to resolve or find a solution to your moral dilemmas only if your values are in place, which is why you need to brush up on your values and your sense of ethics also. So in general, when I talk of values, I'm talking about certain behavioral traits that you have. All right, and these behavioral traits are responsible for shaping your personality. When we talk of values, we are talking of certain behavioral traits or characteristics which help you frame or build your personality. All right. Now, based on your values, you are able to decide whether something is right or wrong. To decide whether something is right or wrong, good, you have on ethics. So ethics has to do with something or wrong. What helps you decide whether something is right or wrong? It is your values. So you have to have your values in place, and values in place as an individual, your values strong first. And then you can pull it on to your professional area, where as a professional, you will have certain values that you will have to keep in mind, and they can come from those that you have developed as a person. All right, and in addition, you will have certain values that you will imbibe from your workplace. So every workplace has their own vision and mission. All right, I'm just bringing some topics, I'm just putting these topics to you so that you will realize, I'll cover so many topics here. So every organization has their own vision and mission. Now, why do they have their vision and mission? Because every organization believes in certain values to work their vision. Why do they believe in value? You have a good customer build up or business flourish. So your brand value also increases. Your brand name, your brand value, your what should I say? The your USP is very clear. All right, what is a USP? The unique selling point to line, and that is how organizations continue to sustain themselves in the market, also sustain their customers, also keep working on their research and development to come out with newer products because they have the support of a very good customer base. All right, and they believe in doing good for society, and their vision and mission is linked to this doing good for society within quotes, how they can do good for society. All right, so this is why, one point is, when you study values and ethics, it helps you recognize and resolve your moral dilemmas whenever you're in doubt. Your sense of values as a person and as a professional will help you solve your moral dilemma. Also, you need to study values and ethics because this is just an extension of the previous bullet point. It helps you to responsibly confront moral issues raised by technological activity. Now, I this is just the word technological activity was just missing in the first bullet point. Now, technology has taken things so far that there are times when we have compromised on our values because technology has been our sole backbone. All right, we have thought that okay, we can compromise on our values because technology helps me to do so many things. I can do it with this, so why should I? See, many people, I'll give you a very simple example. When computers became very prevalent in all offices, a whole lot of people, like accountants and all, lost their jobs. All right, so was that ethical? What was the problem, or what was the fault of these people who lost their jobs? Simply the coming of technology, the coming of computers. Because machines started doing work, human beings who were doing that work were not required anymore. So they were jobless. Now, when people became jobless, they didn't have a proper method of sustenance. All right, they had a family to look after, they had children going to school, they had aged parents at home. So there was a financial tug of war at home, and that led to a lot of other activities, where even COVID, the present COVID situation, if you look at it, many people lost their jobs. And of late I have been noticing that people are indulging in illegal activities like theft, adultery of many kinds, adulteration, all right, dacoity, because they need something to survive. Now, they are forced to do these activities because the situation has made them, what should I say, handicapped. It has handicapped them. Now, technology also did the same thing to us. They handicapped us. In many areas, we lost to technology, all right? And that was unethical. So we had to make up for it. So, how could that be done? How could that be done? What could be done? Okay, so that is how technology also. Now, technology, another example that I would like to give you is, with the coming of technology, these computers and all that, the standard example that I take up is about hacking. Before this, we thought it was not necessary, or it was illegal to be infringing into somebody else's personal data or information. All right. Today we are saying hacking is legal to a particular extent. Now, who decides this activity? The extent. Where should we draw the line? Technology has taken us to certain extent that this is a big question mark. To what extent can you interfere into somebody's personal life, personal information? Who gives you the right to interfere into these things? All right, so there is always this debate about whether hacking is legal or illegal. All right, so that is why I'm talking about technology and values. exactly, and ethics, whether it is ethically correct to be doing something like this. Okay, it's a big debate. When I was doing the class, we had a small discussion on this, but today I don't have time with you, so I'm just rushing through. Now, what has happened is, because of technology coming in, because of a lot of other factors that came in, okay, the lives of common people began to change. People were left wanting for many things, and they were forced to adopt certain strategies that made them compromise on their values. Is that clear? So, this led to a situation called a value crisis. So, a value crisis is a situation where there is a loss of values. All right. Loss of values happens when we start deviating from our values, which we hold very dear to us. Okay. I'll give you an example. As long as you were in school, you wouldn't think about copying in an exam hall. All right. The fear of being caught, the fear that, somebody was watching, not only your teachers, but somebody above. There is some kind of a power that is watching you, and you have this fear that if I copy, it is wrong and I will be punished for it. All right. But I don't know what happens when since I've been teaching students in the college for the last so many years, I have noticed that there is a loss of values when it comes to your performance in the exam hall. It is kind of challenging, thrilling, or survival tactic for all of you to be indulging in cheating and copying in the exam hall. Why? What didn't happen for the last 12 years in your life suddenly changes. Why does this happen? There are many of us, who keep traveling in trains, buses, and all that. Sometimes there are people who are traveling in crowded buses who think that if I don't pay the fare and get off today, I will not get caught. Now, this kind of a practice becomes a habit. All right. Now, you are also moving on to this thing called a situation where you are deviating from a value that you thought was important to you, which was I should not be cheating when I'm traveling in a bus or a train, and I should pay for the fare. Why then am I not paying for the train ticket or for the bus fare? Why? Because you have now moved on to a situation where you are experiencing a value crisis. There is a loss of values in you, and that creates a new normal in you. This term new normal was there long back. Okay, so you are creating a new normal for yourself, where the new normal is based on acceptance of dishonesty, lying, and immoral behavior. All right. And what is the biggest what should I say consequence of this value crisis? It is a loss. It is not loss. What is the end result of a value crisis? Simply one word: corruption. All right. So, value crisis, in other words, is the loss, degradation, or erosion of values and ethics in an individual, which leads to something called corruption. Corruption in the individual, and it starts spreading. It influences others. All right. It starts spreading like wildfire, and it catches so fast that so many people are influenced, and they also start getting corrupted. Now, this slide is just about what are the causes of value crisis in our present society. All right. I have just listed a few. You might think of others and you can talk about them also. All right. The first one is lack of education and the imparting of moral values among children. All right. You see, with this COVID thing, a lot of children are not going to school. All right. When you go to school, there are certain do's and don'ts, certain norms, certain rules that you have to follow, which tell you clearly that this is how you are supposed to be. This is what you are supposed to be doing, failing which you're violating the rules of conduct, and you will be punished for it. All right. And the fear of punishment is what makes you, stick on to the right path. You might learn these things from other students or other children who violate the rules. All right. Okay. um, and therefore you know that if you violate the rules, the norms, you can be punished for it. But when you're not educated on what is right and wrong, then you will start doing what you think is right or what is wrong, and you will think that whatever you're doing is correct even if it is wrong. All right. So lack of education, which is why you will find, I'm just giving you again one example, these street children and a whole lot of children who, you'll find on the platforms in railway stations. It is very sad that these children don't go to school, and they lack formal education, and at a very young age they are caught by what should I say, some wrongdoers, again within quotes, who make use of them. All right. They impart the wrong kind of education to them, where they tell them that stealing, cheating is good, and they send these children out to make money, all right, by begging or by stealing, and a very minimal portion of what they earn is given to these children. So they grow up knowing that what they're doing is correct, cheating, stealing is correct, and there is no need to correct themselves. And this is what life is all about. I will make money like this and I have to share it with somebody else. Now, what is happening is these children very soon become drug addicts, all right, or they are victims of abuse. They in course of time they become alcoholics, all right, and it's very difficult to get out of that network once they're caught. Is that clear? So they do not have that formal education which tells them what they should be doing and what they should not be doing. And that is why this is one of the reasons of a value crisis in our society. All right. The next one is lack of respect towards our culture, religion, moral, and social values among the youth, leading to deteriorating relationships and students. Lack of respect towards our culture. There was there are waves which keep coming. Okay, we talk about culture. We're talking about the way we wear, uh, our dealing with the kind of people around us, what we take from cultures, we imbibe from cultures outside our culture. Okay, where we do not stop to think whether what we are um, aping or taking from other cultures suits our culture. All right. Whether it is best for us to be borrowing such things from them. All right. Example of clothes. All right. We have the Western influence in India. Now, I had given this example even to the others. This, when this style of fashion style of wearing low hip jeans came into what should I say, Indian culture, I was left wondering what was so nice about this low hip jeans. All right. You might say that I am very conservative, orthodox, or old fashioned. But then there was something that was not very pleasing about these low hip jeans. And then I was just reading up on that once and I found out what kind of a thing we had borrowed from the Western culture in the name of fashion and style. All right. Something that is trending. What happened was in the US, you had convicts who were jailed, all right, who were taken to prison, and the prisoners would use their belts to hang themselves in their jail, the cells in their jails, in the jail, in prison. They would use their belts to hang themselves. So it was made a rule in the US prisons that when a convict was brought in, you had to, along with these other things, you have to take away his belt also, so that that would not give them an opportunity to hang themselves. Now, what happened when you removed the belt was that your jeans fell to your waist. All right. And that became a fashion trend. Can you imagine? And we started, we didn't bother to realize whether, how this thing came. All that we saw was, oh, this is a fashion trend, and that is what we also have to do. All right, that is with clothes. I'm not telling you more about this. Whether it is good or bad is for you to decide. Your values will tell you. Your values will depend on your upbringing in at home. All right, the kind of people that you what should I say, live with, the kind of people that you work with, the society in which you live. All right, culture can also mean music, art. All right, it can also talk about literature. It can talk about food. All right, a lot of food habits that we have borrowed or shared with other countries across the globe. All right, so that is about culture. um, Lately there was, I don't know if you are aware, um, the concept of marriage, Christian marriages in the West, was losing its importance. All right, when a couple wouldn't get along with each other, they would just throw their rings back at each other in their face and say the marriage is broken and over. Now life became very fragmented. All right, they found, that spiritual base was missing. They found no strength in what they were doing. Okay, no mental and spiritual backing was there. And surprisingly, they fell back on Indian culture here, Indian religion and culture. Indian spirituality became very important to them. And that is why they came over to India to have their weddings done in the typical Indian style. All right, because they thought that there was a lot of depth in the spiritual texts of the Indians. All right, Indian religion had so much weight; it was very meaningful. All right. Uh, on the other hand, Indians, for that matter, started compromising on a lot of their religious and spiritual and cultural values. They started bringing in a lot of Western culture. They thought it was the trend. That is how it has to be. Okay, maybe in terms of dress, in terms of food, the kind of Indians, most of us eat with our hands. All right, one of the simple examples was the Western culture, where you started bringing in that kind of food for an Indian wedding, where you had to use forks and knives. All right, so there was a change which came in. Now a change is always welcome if it is good, but how will you understand whether this change is good or bad? That depends on your values, your choice, your understanding, your experiences in life, situations that have given you lessons in life. Is that clear? As far as religion goes, religion is one of the biggest sources of our values and ethics. We have a lot of religious texts. All right, we have a lot of spiritual material that have been our guidelines for the Indians. All right, and religion has been a guiding force in telling us what is right, what is wrong, what about vices and virtues, what we should be doing and what we should not be doing. All right, and above all, the fear of God. God fearing people have always this feeling that if I do something wrong, I will be punished for it. So I will not do anything wrong. So you have a strong sense of values. All right. So when you start losing respect for your religion, for your culture, for the society in which you survive, then there is a loss of values. Value crisis happens. And what happens? Relationship between parents and children are destroyed. Relationship, the guru shishya relationship is also at stake. So this is what happens, that and it usually happens amongst the youngsters, because the youngsters are not willing to you know take the trouble of studying about the culture, the religion, and natural tendency is always to object to or fight against what has been there over the ages without any reason. If you have strong reasons, it's fine. You see, there are so many superstitious beliefs that we have in our religion. All right. Now, why did these superstitious beliefs come in? They came in probably to create the instill that fear in us that you should, if you do something like this it is bad, and if you do something like this it is good, so always do this. A simple thing like the Bengali women, when the married women wear this red and white bangle. Okay, now many of us don't wear it. The sindoor, wearing the sindoor among the Indians, covering your head with a veil, all right, well, is all these are typical Indian, what should I say, practices, all right, relating to our culture and religion. Now many of us don't wear a veil, all right. We think it's useless, there's no point in doing it. Okay, now why we are doing this is because probably a lot of feministic feminism, when feminism came into the picture, women started thinking that they had to be on par with men. If the men are not doing it, why should we do it? A lot of things came in like that. This concept of sindoor was, in those days, a man would cut the forehead of a woman to show his, what should I say, his ownership over his wife, or the woman whom he was getting married to. All right. And over the ages, this became a kind of, again, fashion trend. Nowadays I don't know, people, the ways in which they wear the sindoor are quite they're quite shocking. um, the clothes that we wear, all right. So the people from the West came into India because they found a lot of meaning in the rituals that we follow. Whereas we were trying to ape the West, they were coming back to our culture. Is that clear? So when this happens, it keeps happening in all the cultures, there is a loss of values. Then rapid scientific and technological development is another cause of value crisis. I already talked to you about it when I talked about computers, all right, and so many other gadgets that have been coming over. Fast pace of industrial growth and economic development. Industries are growing at such a fast pace, all right. Whenever you talk of industrial and economic development, you're talking about money, all right. And that is related to the last point, that is large disparity in per capita income. In this case, what happens is, when industry flourishes, there's a lot of money which comes in. And when a lot of money comes in, it gives room for greed. Also, money gives you power. And the more power you have and the more money you have, you exploit people who do not have it, which is very unethical. All right. And that is a loss of values. You do not see individuals as human beings, you see them as machines, you see them as a means to an end, all right, because you have money. So what happens is, the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer, and there is a large disparity, a gap in the income of the people. Now population explosion is also another major reason for our value crisis, because the more the number of people and less the resources, people get less to eat, people get less to earn, people are jobless, all right. They will indulge in illegal activities to make money. Pouring water into milk, using papaya seeds with pepper, all right. Passing of cotton material as cotton when it has a mix of some kind of a synthetic material in it, because synthetic material is cheaper and cotton is expensive, so you try to sell it off like that, you pass it off as cotton. So a lot of lying, cheating has been happening, because you want to make more money, you have many mouths to feed at home. So more the number of people, lesser the resources, and the lesser the resources, more human beings are provoked, or encouraged to be indulging in wrong means for their survival. All right. So value crisis therefore is a reflection of deterioration of ethical and moral values. Now Do you have any questions or anything that you would like to share with me? Okay. Am I clear? Am I going too fast because I have no other option? I'll very quickly go through it. Now, my next slide is just about what is the result of a value crisis. Degradation in all walks of life, corruption in all walks of life, which can extend from the small society. See, when I talk of society here, I'm talking your family is a society, the classroom in which you sit with your friends is a society, your department is a society, your institute is a society. It keeps into the university is a society, and there are many universities. All right, in the same way, you have a small town. All right, then you have a state, a nation, countries, and the entire globe. So all these are different levels of societies that we are talking about. Okay, so corruption extends or is like a what should I say, spider's web, which kind of grips all walks of life. All right, it can be a small society or a big society, it can be the nation. It starts with individuals, all right, moves on, the web increases. uh, it is there in religion. I don't have to tell you about it. A whole lot of corruption in religion. People are making use of religion to make money. All right. Did you watch this movie that was OMG? Did you watch that movie? OMG is, oh my god, it's a nice movie. If you get if you get the time and a chance, please watch that movie. It's about how religion has been used, okay, uh, for money making purposes. Um, Nowadays, religion has become a kind of profession. All right, a money making what should I say, profession process. Every gully, you will find one temple that has come up with a donation box. Now, building a temple or doing these small things is it's the easiest way to make money. People believe, God fearing people would like to go to temples, and any occasion is there, people offer prayers. All right, they put in money into the donation boxes, and sometimes black money is also put into it, and the money is being used for a lot of purposes. The in Tirupati you have these laddus. Now, selling laddus is what Tirupati is all about. You go there, you shave your head, the hair is being sold. Beauty parlors are buying it. It is, all hair products are being made and sold abroad. All right. In the name of religion, you have, what should I say, cosmetics being sold in the market. Flowers, plastic flowers, and so many other things, sindoor and blah blah blah, all those things in the name of religion. Sports, the one of the Commonwealth Games that was held in India, I forget the year, was a big flop and failure because the then sports minister used the Commonwealth game resources as a means to make money. All right, and politics, we know corruption is there. I'm not going to talk to you about that. Okay. So, value crisis is also leading to increasing respectability of selfish individualism. All right. So, value crisis is directly related to selfishness. All right. And when you say the word under the word selfish, it means self, where you only think about yourself, and you're talking about, and the concept of egoism comes in. All right. And this is one of the types of you know what should I say, ethics that we have. I'll be doing it maybe in tomorrow's class. If I have time, I'll be doing it there. We talk about egoism. All right. We also have something called utilitarianism. All right, they are all different branches. I'll talk to you about these terms in the next class maybe. So that's about your value crisis. So value crisis arises and ends, it starts and ends with being selfish. In the individual thinks only about himself, his well-being, and not about the others. All right. When does this happen? When you have a value crisis. You don't think about other people's well being, or you don't want to do good for others. You don't think about others with whom you coexist. All right. You're only thinking about your personal gains. So that is about value crisis. So, value crisis is a situation where there is a loss or degradation or erosion of values, all right, leading to corruption in all walks of life. All right. Uh, so then my next slide is about what we mean. Some of the definitions of values. I'm not going to explain these. Now, my last point, the last bullet point that I have, are values are enduring beliefs. Enduring meaning long lasting. All right. So values are things that are worthy, they are of merit, they are useful. We're talking about the importance of a thing. We're not talking about values in terms of numbers or economics values. We're not talking about that. We're talking about certain principles, all right, certain guidelines, okay, which help us to make our choices, our decisions, and actions based on our experiences in life and our perception of situations in life. When I say perception, I'm talking of understanding in life. All right. I'm traveling in a bus and I think that it's very crowded. I need not pay the bus fare and I can walk off. All right. And I get caught. Now, this is an experience that I have had. And from this, I experienced bad experience. I understand that cheating is a bad option. So my value tells me the value that I have developed here is that cheating is bad and I should not be doing it. So our values are our guidelines which help us make our choices. That next time I will, even given an option in an empty bus or a crowded bus, I will always make sure that I pay the fare and go. So it helps you uh, take your decisions, make the right decisions, and act accordingly. All right. And enduring beliefs, because values are enduring beliefs, because these are values that continue to exist with you till your last breath. That is what is expected. But in course of time, many of us lose our values. Our values change. All right. So this is a very debatable question. Values are enduring beliefs. You could have a question like, do you believe that values are enduring beliefs? Values that you endure, continue to cherish, nurture, and cherish throughout your lifetime. All right, whether it is true or not. This is up to you. We had a small discussion in this in the class also. All right. So moving on, again, these are just a few other, this is just for your notes that I've given. The third point here I have is values shape personality and behavior of an individual. All right. This is what I said when I started talking about values. Values may change over time. This is contradictory to the previous point that I talked in, the point that I talked in the previous slide where I said values are enduring beliefs. And here again I say values may change over time. If values are enduring beliefs, they should not be changing over time. They will continue to be there with you till your last breath. So these two sentences can be used for a small discussion, and you will have to give your own views on that. Do you think that values change over time? I gave you examples, like I told you in the exam hall, what happens. All right. Or let's say when you join an organization, you understand that taking bribes is bad. You should not be doing it. It is unethical. It is not right. All right. But then you see others in the office, your colleagues taking bribes, and they don't get caught and they're doing very well in life. So what happens is an enduring belief in you is broken when you start thinking that if they don't have a problem, they've not been caught and they have not had any kind of bad experiences, what is stopping me from taking bribes? So I will also take it. And you start taking bribes. So your value has changed over time. Your enduring belief has gone for a sixer. What was the enduring belief? That you should not accept bribes, it's illegal. Nobody in my house did it, it's wrong. That belief has changed. So these two statements are contradictory, but you can give examples to say whether you accept it or not. You can take a middle path also and you can talk about it. Okay. Um Now, what are the values prevalent in the contemporary modern Indian society? There are lots of values that are there. I've just taken up a few social values, and what I'm talking about. Social values meaning the society which you live in. All right. We expect justice because all these things come from our from the preamble, the Constitution of India. Justice, freedom of thought, of speech, respect, mutual respect. All right. Communal harmony, meaning respecting all communities on the basis of religion, clothing, food, anything. All right. And responsibility is also a social value because when we live in a society, whether it's your family or classroom, or the society in which you are coexisting with many others, you have a responsibility to fulfill towards your family. All right. The family in which you live, you are also one family in that society where you're coexisting. You have a responsibility towards your classmates when you're there in the university, in the college. All right. To help them in times of need, to be able to share knowledge that you have with your classmates if somebody has problems. So that and that is why I call that a society, is because that is a small society in which you exist. It's a society within your, or within your what should I say, educational sphere. All right. And you have a responsibility towards your teachers, you have a responsibility towards your parents who are paying for your course. All right. Your parents are part of the society at home, and your friends and teachers are part of a society in the university. So just to sum up here, values are beliefs, all right, which are based on perceptions meaning your understanding of life, your experiences in life, what you have understood from your experiences in life. All right. And your perceptions help you build your attitude, your behavior. All right. And your personality. Your attitude is linked to your personality. Now we had this gentleman who had come from TCS to do a faculty development program with the teachers. And in the course of his lecture, he told us that one of the biggest problems that they face, he was the top in the HR, okay? And they give training to the freshers when they join the organization. So he said we have a major issue that that we find very difficult tackling with the freshers, and that is their attitude. When they join the organization, the company, they think they are superior to the already existing employees. All right. There are some elderly employees, senior employees, who are probably not so technologically sound or knowledgeable as the freshers who have come out of college right now. All right. There has been a vast difference in the syllabus then and now. All right. So the youngsters, the freshers who join in, they have this feeling that we know more than the seniors, or oh, you don't know this, but I know how to do it. All right. And this attitude also, that I will not do this, it's not my job, why should I do it, it's his job. Now this gentleman said that it's very difficult to bridge the gap between the seniors and the juniors because of these attitudinal problems. All right. um, some of them who are who are academically or professional, academically, technologically sound, do not want to share their knowledge with the others in the group, that the team spirit is broken. All right. They do not want to share things with the group members because they want to be ahead in the race for promotions, to get projects, especially if they're about to get projects outside the country. All right. So they are so involved in that race to do better than the others that they do not believe in teamwork, and it becomes very difficult for an organization when people want to work individually in an organization. It is very difficult to judge them. All right. And you do not actually know how much work they are doing. Now sometimes when you work alone, if you need help from the others, they are not willing to help you because you have built walls around you. You have your attitude, you think you're better than the others. So, and what is the impression that people get? You have a behavior where you're very egoistic, where you're very selfish. Your attitude says it because you keep to yourself. You're an introvert, and that is what your personality is like. So people will keep you at a distance. In the long run, people who work individually lose out on all the benefits that they had dreamt about. All right, so that is a problem. So values are beliefs which are based on your perceptions or understanding or experiences of in life, and these experiences or understandings in life help you build your attitude and ultimately your personality. Is that clear? Okay, maybe I can just do one more slide. You see, I was just showing. I have no time to do this with you, but just very quickly, I showed the class these pictures. Okay, and I asked them what you see in them. Now, why did I ask them that? If since both of you are there, Arjun or Devstuti, can you tell me what you see in the picture on the left hand side? She's wearing a veil. The white part is a cloth on her head. That is what you see. Okay, you see a young girl, her hair on her forehead, and she's wearing something white, a veil. All right. Okay. Devstuti, can you see? What do you see? Are you there with me? Devstuti, are you there with me? Yes. What can you see in the picture that I'm showing you? Can you tell me what you can see? Are you sending me a message again? You can see a girl. All right. You can see a girl. All right. Now, if I were to tell you to have a good look at the picture, okay. Wait, I think Devstuti is just sending a message. It's time for me to finish my class. I will stop with this. Let me see what she's saying. 1 minute. Devstuti says it's a girl. Okay, Arjun and Devstuti, if you look at the picture little clearly, you will notice that there is a picture of a woman or an old woman. Now, the girl's chin, if you see the girl's chin, that is actually the nose of an old woman. Okay. And you can see that old lady's chin down, which is the neck of the girl, right? And this old lady is also wearing a veil, white. Okay. Yeah. So in the next picture that I have on the right hand side, you can see a man playing a saxophone, or it's a saxophone. And I think you can also see the picture of a girl. The white portion on the right hand side is a picture of a woman. Her two eyes and her lips. Can you see that? I have told you both. If you can see on the left, the black portion is of a man playing an instrument. On the right hand side is a picture of a woman. Okay, and the saxophone that is coming out of the man's mouth is actually the nose of that lady. Okay. Now the purpose why I put up another set of pictures also here. The thing is that when we talk of perceptions, no, we are talking about perceptions being different. All right, perceptions are different in different human beings, because uh, when I say perception, understanding is different in different people because they have different experiences in life. All right, different experiences in life can give you different perceptions, and based on that only, you will know whether you are right or wrong. All right, what you should do in certain situations, what kind of choices you should make in certain situations. So perceptions are different in different human beings. Okay. Okay, I'll wind up the class here today because you have another class from 3 o'clock, I think, right? My time was from 2 to 3. I'll meet you tomorrow at 3 o'clock and then we'll continue. Okay, I'll pick up some of the topics that we'll discuss tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow at 2 o'clock, same time, 2 to 3. and even day after tomorrow 2 to 3. ठीक है? Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for being there. I don't want you to miss your next class. Okay. Okay. Thank you.